If you don't pick the right niche as a copywriter, it is hard, if not completely impossible, to hit consistent 10 to 15K months with this skill. And I get asked all the time, KJ, how the heck do I pick a copywriting niche? Which niches are making the most money right now? And then even once I find a niche, what type of copy do I write for them? And I don't blame you for asking that, because man, when I first started, I tried all the guru niche picking techniques, and I was genuinely more lost after those videos than before I even started watching them. So what I want to do is I want to first show you my personal 15K a month niche checklist so that you know exactly which niches are going to allow you to make that 10 to 20K per month. Then I'm going to walk you kind of step by step through picking your perfect niche. And then I'll straight up give you 4 niches that my best students are using right now as we speak to make anywhere from 13K all the way to 30K a month with copywriting. And this is the type of info that I wish I had when I first started. Would have saved me a lot of time. It's going to save you thousands of outreaches without any responses. So I'm excited. Let's get into it. I'm guessing you've heard the same bad advice on niching as I have, which is, oh, just do e-com. Send a couple emails for 2K a month. And you're like, well, how do I even do that? And what if I don't want to do e-com? Guru number 2 says, oh, bro, just pick something in health, wealth, relationships. And you're like, well, that sounds great, but it's still so general. I don't know what to do, who to reach out to. Guru 3 says, oh, just pick something you're interested in. But what if you're not interested in anything yet? Or what if you're interested in like Pokemon cards or something and there's no money in that niche for copywriters? And guru number 4 says, oh, fitness coaches. Everybody seems to pick this niche, and it's possible, but if you don't know why you're picking it, you're making a huge mistake. But what I promise by the end of this video is I will show you what works. I've done it myself multiple times. I've done it for hundreds of copywriters at this point. You will know what works. You will know how to pick your niche by the end of this video. So let's do that right freaking now. The perfect niche checklist. So the entire goal of this checklist is to give you a niche that you can make 15K a month with. Now, if you want to make more than that, things get more complicated. But just to hit your first 15K a month, I'm going to show you everything you need to know as simple as possible. Question 1. You've got to ask yourself is, do you know a little bit about that niche, or do you want to? So you don't have to know anything about that niche, but you should at least be interested in learning more about it if you don't know anything about it yet. So a huge mistake I see is people will be like, oh, well, I'm going to go, work in, I don't know, coaching or something niche, and you don't know anything about a spiritual coach, or you're not interested in it. And so writing copy for them is going to suck for you if you don't like it. Question number 2 is simple. Do they have money to pay you? And this sounds like an easy question, but I can tell you from my own journey and from the journey of a lot of others that I've helped, sometimes you get so excited to sign a client that you end up bringing on a complete nightmare client who doesn't even have the money to pay for your services. It's like saying your niche is going to be homeless people. It's like, well, that's great, but don't expect to get paid, right? They don't have any money. Big mistake of my first business was actually for broke rappers, music artists. And I didn't make any money for like a year. And then I realized, wait, maybe that's because I'm selling to broke rappers. Like that's my niche. So obviously quit doing that, found copywriting. But question number 3 is simply, do they need the copy that you're good at? Or do they think they need the copy? And don't worry, guys, I'm going to show you live examples of niches that fit this category. So honestly, if you just want to steal those and crush with them in 2026, you can. But I have to teach you kind of why these niches are good before I just give them to you. So how to pick I cannot spell, that's embarrassing, your 15K a month niche step by step. So there's 2 paths that I see from people in Copy Elite and Copy School all the time. Path 1 is you don't know what type of copy you want to write yet. So you're brand new to copywriting as far as like actually writing the stuff. You've been thinking about it for a while, but you don't know exactly what you want to commit to. You don't know if you want to do emails or VSLs or sales pages or Instagram copy or etc. ads. You know what I'm saying? Path 2 is you already know what type of copy you want to write. So you come to me like, KJ, I'm an email guy. I want to crush email marketing. You're going to take path 2. So let's go over the paths. Path 1, first question is, what is a niche that you're interested in / could be? So put down a few, put down 3 of them. Just take some time, go out in the woods, think. If you don't have 3, then go do that. Question number 2 is, what type of copy do they think they need? This is a huge, huge key if you guys want to make money. If someone doesn't want emails, if they don't have an email list, then offering them emails is probably not going to get you anywhere because they don't know you, they don't trust you, and they don't need what you're selling. But if we come back up to here, if they need the copy you're good at and they've got money to pay you and you enjoy writing it, you're going to make money. I'm serious. And so that's the second question. So how do you do this? Well, the first thing is find 3 to 5 people in that niche that look like they're making bread. Then you want to pretend you're their dream customer and go through their funnel. Write down the static copy, meaning copy that doesn't change, it's always there. And then also write down recurring copy. So an example of static copy could be like a VSL page. It could be an Instagram like story sequence and their highlights. It could be usually any kind of like long form, like VSL, book a call funnel, etc. And then the recurring copy is things that like they use all the time. So a YouTube video is like a consumable recurring copy. But if you look at my description, you will see 2 like sales pages which don't change. And so that's the difference. So write those down. And then the last question is, which one of those copy types do they seem to put most effort on? And so let's say you're going to pitch me on your copywriting services, which a lot of people do. And you go and look, you see that I'm making Instagram Reels. And you're like, okay, well, I'm going to pitch KJ Instagram Reel scripts because, he's making them. Well, if you looked any closer, you'd realize that I put 0 effort into my Reels. In fact, I spend 10 minutes a month recording them and throw them up there with no edits. So pitching me on Reel copy is probably not a good idea. Versus if you looked at my YouTube channel, you would see that I put a lot of effort into YouTube. And so if I was going to be, a client you're reaching out to, you'd say, okay, he's putting a lot of effort into YouTube. Let me find something on YouTube to kind of pitch him. And then question number 3 is, what filter can you use to make sure they have money? So once again, don't reach out to people who don't have money to pay you, or else you're not going to get paid. It's fine to start if you're just learning, but find people that have money. And so I'll show you examples of these filters, but basically it can be like making sure they're doing 10K a month, or if you can't see how much money they're making, if they don't show that, make sure that you can see some kind of results on the platform they're on. So do they have a certain amount of followers, a certain amount of views, etc. And then the last question is lock in. As Charlie Morgan says, the worst niche is the niche you just started. So the longer you stay with a niche, the more you get to know them, the easier it is to make money in that niche. Path number 2. This is if you know what type of copy you already want to write. You want to ask yourself, which 3 to 5 niches use that copy the most? And once again, I'm going to give you guys examples of all this. Find niches where it's industry standard to use that copy. And so a great example is the fitness coach niche. A lot of people try to pitch fitness coaches on emails and sales pages. Guys, if all they have is an Instagram and they don't have a sales page or an email list, don't pitch them sales pages or emails. Pitch them on something on Instagram, like story highlight sequences or reel scripts or DM setting scripts or something. So, find what they're already using. Question number 2 is, which one of those 3 to 5 niches are you most interested in? So when you find niches that are using the type of copy you write, then you want to pick the one that you have the most kind of natural interest in. Or if you don't care, pick the one that looks like it's making the most money. And then number 3, what filter can you use to make sure they have money? Once again, number 4, lock in. You gotta stay strapped on that niche for a while. All right, so let's just go over live examples because this is probably what you guys want anyway. So these are insane 10K a month live examples. So these are people in Copy Elite or myself who are making over 10K a month with these niches. So let's go over Roberts. He's making 13.7K cash collected last month. He went down path 1. And so we asked, what is a niche that you're interested in or could be? And he's like, I love YouTube. Then he asked, okay, what type of copy do they think they need? And after doing some basic research, Robert found that YouTubers want what's called organic VSLs. Basically where you have a YouTube video where you send all your other YouTube videos to, and that video sells them on their offer, etc. And then they want YouTube scripts that attract qualified viewers and not just random views. Then he asked himself, what filter can I use to make sure that they have money? And so he only reaches out to YouTubers with existing offers. So he only reaches out to people who already have high ticket existing offers, and he pitches them on organic YouTube VSLs and makes 13K a month. And then lock in, you can check out how he locked in and made this happen in his interview sometime later. So check that out. Let's go over Daniel. And what's funny is he's actually in the fitness niche, fitness coaches, specifically Christian, making it even harder to make money. So he went down path 1. He's like, all right, I want to help fitness influencers, specifically Christian fitness influencers, because he is obsessed with fitness. He's jacked. And that's what he was interested in. So we asked, okay, what type of copy do they think they need? And so instead of just, spewing out random, hey, you want some emails, want whatever, Daniel looked at fitness influencers on IG that were making money. And he's like, okay, wow, they have this DM CTA to a setter. And so they do reels, they do stories, they do posts. And on those things, they say, hey, DM me if you're ready to, work or get started or learn more, etc. And then they go to a setter. So there's a setter in the DMs that follows a script of really well-written copy to then set them onto calls and make a bunch of money. So guess what Daniel did? He learned IG story sequences, IG reel scripts, and setter scripts and setting, and clearly paid off. And then he asked, okay, what filter can I use to make sure they have money? So Daniel told me that he now only reaches out to Christian fitness influencers with preferably 500K plus, or at least over 100K. And so because he realized this niche, there's a lot of people with a lot of followers, and not all of them have money, he only works with people with huge amounts of followers, and that's his filter to make sure they have money. And then the fourth thing, locking in, he was willing to do whatever that these guys needed. And then he outsourced it whatever he didn't like. And so that's the cool part is, like, let's say you don't love setting. Well, you could just do setting for a little bit, make your clients a ton of money, you keep that money, and then automate it to a setter who can just do whatever. It's all about having the skill of copy. Then after that, you can kind of outsource, do whatever. So $24K a month in the fitness coaching niche, guys. There's so much money to be made. Jason, the freaking golden boy. Jason's epic. He's doing 30K plus a month now, but even back then he was doing 17K at the start of this year. So Jason took path 2. So he wanted to write and launch webinars. That was always an interest of Jason's, even since the very start when he did his first webinar with his first client. And he found that people with big organic followings from social media were crushing it with webinars. And so which one of those 3 to 5 niches was he most interested in? BizOp. Number 3, what filter can you use to make sure they have money? So he only reached out to people with 30K plus followers, and he raised that quickly. And Jason's just an absolute beast. And you can see right here, we have a thing called the Loom Hall of Fame, which is like a bunch of looms from past students that have signed a ton of clients. And so inside of our outreach program, here's Jason's. You can see him targeting only people with 30K plus loyal fans of content creators. And he raised that quickly because he got so many clients. So moving on, here we have, also there's a ton more examples in our sales page. Hint, hint, you can check it out in the description to see all that good stuff. But let's go over KJ's first 10K a month. This was almost a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I decided that, you know what? I love YouTube. So I want to do some type of copy with YouTube. I was like, okay, well, what type of copy do these YouTubers think they need? And it was YouTube scripts plus titles and thumbnails. That was a huge thing. And also the hooks. And then also they wanted sales pages for low ticket courses. So when I first started, like low ticket courses were kind of a big thing, especially on YouTube. And so everybody had a sales page. They had to. And so that was the type of copy that I pitched them. I didn't go around pitching them random crap that they didn't need. I focused on what they thought they needed. And the filter that I used to make sure they had money is only YouTubers with 100K plus subs. This ensured that every client I got either had money or they were about to make some because they had such a big following we could just print. If you want to see me like dial in and lock in, you can go check out that old series. Now let's look at KJ in 2025 doing over 400K a year consistently. That's crazy. Praise God. But I just made a video about how I signed a 5K copywriting client. And so this is kind of how I do my niching now. I've broadened up a little bit because I have the authority. I have, just proof on YouTube. But it's coaches with organic YouTube followings. And so any type of like person or coach that has a YouTube following, like I'm down to work with because that's what I love. And this guy particularly wanted a VSL book a call page. So he had a bunch of YouTube videos. He had an offer, but he was missing the bridge, the VSL page that gets them to book calls for his offer. And so my filter was, I'm only looking for YouTubers doing at least 10K a month. Honestly, 20K is preferred. Or they have 50K subs with qualified viewers. So if it's just a random short channel, I don't care about their subs. But if they're making educational content for one specific avatar, then they have an offer, I'm totally down to work. And new series coming soon? Building copywriting agency from scratch? Huh? Maybe. Anyways, guys, stop overthinking, start acting. So here's your to-do list. Use this video to pick your niche or just steal one from somebody else if you're really that lazy. Step 2, get good at the copy that niche wants. So whatever type of copy that niche thinks they need, you have to get good at. So we have 3 options. Free course if you're broke, copy school if you have a little bit of money, copy lead if you have multiple thousands. That's the fastest path. Number 3, get clients. Once you do those 2 things, you will get clients. And phase 4 is make some money. So I hope this guys helps. Check out this other video if you want to learn some more. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.